What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Superchain Demo Day. We do this every Thursday, 3 p.m. UTC. Very excited for today's demo. I am your co-host, Jesse. I lead the ambassador program over at Optimism. I am joined along with Robbie, and I will let Robbie introduce himself. Thanks for joining us, Robbie.
My pleasure, Jesse. It's always fun co-hosting Demo Day with you. My name's Robbie. I run the Rollup. We're an educational research platform for all things DeFi and blockchain. Go follow us at the Rollup Co on Twitter. Check us out, YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. And without further ado, let's demo.
Beautiful. Let's get the demo kicked off. And so also, we are live streaming this on Twitter, on YouTube, and the Unlonely app. And so if you have a question for the demoer while they're demoing, you can hop onto the Unlonely app and you can drop your questions in there, or you can reply to this Twitter thread and I'll take a look at those and we'll get to all of the community questions at the very end of each demo. All right. Without further ado, take it away, please.
Was that the countdown?
That was the countdown. And go.
Thanks for the intro, Jesse, Robbie. My name's David Young. I'm CEO, founder at a company called Tungsten Financial. We make a product called Juniper, and you can see the login screen over where I've got my screen shared. So what is it? What am I about to demo? Juniper is a DeFi neobank, right? And so what does that mean? It means that it's a system that's completely on-chain, right? Completely self-custodial, but is easy to use as a neobank like Revolut or Square Cash or one of those things, right? And so what's the vision here? Like, what are we trying to make? If you're one of us, and by that I mean within the crypto community with some experience, you probably know where to find all the information you need to get the best yields, or how to stake your ETH, or how to collateralize ETH and get some quick cash and stable coins if you need it to meet some expenses. We're very lucky that we've been paying attention to this ecosystem as it's evolved, right? And we feel comfortable doing those things. But I'm sure that if we look at our social circles, like our offline ones, those people that we know, it's painful to watch them struggle in TradFi, right? It's painful to watch them struggle to move money around, to watch them maybe not be able to get the credit they need, maybe like they wind up trapped in some weird interest rate, all kinds of stuff like that. And so why we built this such to make the really great primitives in DeFi that we all know and love using available to somebody who doesn't necessarily have the technical skills or the time to devote to tracking DeFi. So I'm just gonna sign up super quick. What is gonna happen here when I sign in with a brand new email address that I've never used here before. What's gonna happen is essentially a smart contract wallet, an ERC4337 wallet, is going to be deployed on Optimism's chain, right? And we're using a company called ZeroDev as our integration partner for account abstraction. They're really great. They've been in the space for a while. And so I'm sure we all know this, this screen from Privy. So I'm just going to wait for my code here really quick. Oh, I typoed it. Let me adjust my zoom level. And that's it. So if a user can handle that, they can take advantage of DeFi that we've made within our app, and also to create a smart contract wallet on Optimism's blockchain. So up here in the top right, you can see that there's an ETH address. This actually links out to Etherscan, just so that you can keep tabs on the lowest possible level of where your money's at, right? So let me reload really quick here. We've had some slowness with our read provider this morning, but so we've designed the screen to be very welcoming, very familiar. And there's a couple things you can do here, right? You can keep an eye on things. This is a brand new account, so there's no assets, no funds in it. But essentially, we make available to you how much money, quote unquote, in stable coins can you get versus your net worth, right? Which is like this bag of crypto, right? That you're holding. So the first thing it's going to ask you to do is to make a deposit, which is we're going to do ETH this morning. And we're going to send some ETH into the smart wallet. You'll be able to see where it is on chain, so you'll always know where it is. And it's going to wrap it. It's going to stake it with Lido, and then it's going to collateralize it at Aave so that you can then pull against it. Now, why would I want to do this, right? Like the canonical example I like to give is like, somebody who's got $1 grand worth of ETH, right? And they've been saving this and they really believe in the ecosystem, right? But they're not as DeFi savvy as we are. And they effectively say like, oh man, I got to fix my car. I need $250 like right now. Your normal person, right, who's only using custodial crypto would most likely just sell some of their ETH, right? And then they have a tax liability and all this other sort of stuff. And plus they miss out on whatever upside is to come, right? So what we're saying here is instead, collateralize it and then pull against that credit line in order to get the short-term capital that you need. So this is our screen for depositing, right? It's pretty straightforward, I hope. We talk about all the different assets that we can accept. We take pretty much everything Aave supports, and Ops token is here too. And we'll also tell you your staking yield that you'll get if you're using one of these currencies. So we're going to do that now, right? So I'm going to copy this over the clipboard, and I have to hop over to another window really quick in order to do the send. Give me a second here. And I am going to send 1/100th of an ETH in for this demo. And oops, got my camera in front of my screen, so I got to move my head a little bit. All right, so over in my wallet app that I'm sending from, we've sent it. So the software automatically picks up, it sees that that's happened on chain, right? And you get this pending thing. Right now, because of the fact that this is a smart contract account abstracted wallet, you can go do other things, right? You could close this window if you're on a mobile device where we designed this UI for mobile. You can go on with your life, and the smart contract wallet will complete the intent that you had in mind, right? In this case, is to wrap and stake ETH, right? So in the background, essentially, Juniper software is using your self-custodial wallet. It's wrapping, staking, and then setting it up so that you have that line, right? So we're going to wait here. Oh, it just refreshed. So I sent in about $30 worth of ETH, right? And it shows me that I can pull, 22-ish bucks off of that, right? And you noticed a couple things, right? I didn't have to sign any transactions, and I never paid gas. And that's also part of the magic of account abstraction, right? So the next thing we'll do here is we're going to send some money. We use that, to refer to, stable coins in general, right? And you'll see here that I can connect a couple different kinds of accounts here, right? Like the US bank account, which we won't do in this demo, but it's through Plaid. You can connect it. It's America. You got a KYC at the edges. That's just how it is, but it is somewhat, magical in that you can just fire some, say I want $10 over in my bank account, and this does everything you need, right? It is fiat latency, so it'll take a day or two to get there, but that's the best we can do for right now. But right now we're just going to do a MetaMask here. So I'm going to connect, Meta Demo, and let me grab my ETH address here really quick. Paste that in, connect that account, and you'll see that it shows up down here looking kind of like a debit card, right? And so there's this little fox, which I thought was really cute that our designer did. But so like within this UI, so now I have some net worth. I know how much money I can spend without, running the risk of liquidation. And I have a connected account. And keep in mind, this could be your debit card, right, that you use to meet everyday expenses. I'm going to hit send money, and I'm feeling generous today. I'm going to send $10 over to my my self-custody wallet here, and continue. And so we've sent $10 over to Meta Demo, and that's the ETH address. Our usage indicator has updated. This will, asynchronously refresh as sort of the transaction finalizes and whatnot. But over in my self-custodial wallet, that the money will arrive as soon as those transactions settle, and Juniper's taking care of that in the background. I'm going to tab over to the Etherscan window again, just to avoid switching windows. But you can see, like, essentially, this is real on-chain stuff, right? Like, you can see the tokens that are there. What we've done is very clear, right? We have optimistic wrap stake ETH here. There's $10 in Aave debt. You can see the deposit, and then over here in token transfers, we actually just switched over to using USDC native, but there it is. There's the send over to that address that I put in. And how am I doing on time? I have about 10. I've noticed that I've used about 10 minutes.
You're good. You can keep going. I actually have a question though. So if you go back to the application, right, you're depositing your coin in there, and then it's putting it into Aave to kind of borrow the stable coin. And so there's obviously risks involved with that, right? And so is there kind of any, like, within the application or somewhere in the docs, kind of the risk outline that's associated with that, as far as, like, you can see your liquidation price, your utilization ratio?
Yeah, I mean, we've focused on trying to keep the number of numbers to a minimum. So that's why we've settled on this, like, health meter, right? Which is essentially this, as you approach from green, as you spend more along the line, right, you'll go from green, where I am now, into yellow, orange, and red. And when you get to red, you can't pull on the line anymore. The limits that you're allowed to send out in terms of stables decrease as you approach that liquidation threshold, right? Within the help center, we go through a little more detail about how all of it works, in case you're completely unfamiliar with collateralized lending, which a lot of our users are, actually. But yeah, this is how we've chosen to express it. We obviously can, expose other things like that too.
And I have a follow-up question there. And also, hi, I'm Maddie. I'm the head of DevRel. I wasn't there in time to see you in the green room, but this has been really cool so far. I have a compliment for you, which is when I hopped onto the stream, when I first loaded this up, I started clicking the login button that you were showing in the middle of the stream, because I just thought, oh, weird, StreamYard has a different login now. I guess I'm not logged in. And I did this like 6 times before realizing I was actually on the stream already. So luckily, it's between you and me. We're not going to tell anybody about that. But how did you pick the thresholds for what's green? Like, it looks kind of aggressive. All right, if you loan up to 50% of your, or if you use up to 50% of your existing assets, which would, and for folks, this is not financial advice. I have no idea what a healthy amount would be. But yeah, how did you pick these colors, or at these exact ratios?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you think about mapping it back to the actual line at Aave, right? Like, they'll stop you at, what is it, 80%? I don't know. It's essentially, we take their numbers, and given that they've been in the game for so long, and they have, 5-6 years of experience on this, we're delegating some of that decision out to them as to where's red, right? So this is the first question you have to answer, which is where do we stop, right? Winding that back, you split that in half, right? And if you sort of do the math, what does it mean? If you have 40% utilization, you can withstand how much of a drop in terms of price? Can any of us do that in our head?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. So nonetheless, like, it's pretty substantial, right? There are some people who advocate for only using 10%. Some people advocate going all the way out. Like, if you get liquidated, that actually could be good for you if there's a crash ahead. Like, it doesn't seem good at the time, but if you got liquidated after spending the money that you've already taken out, and you pay your 10% liquidation penalty, and ETH drops 80%, right, or whatever your collateral is drops 80%, you actually came out ahead, right? In the long run, what we'd like to do is so keeping with the idea of being a DeFi neobank, is ask you some questions about your financial goals, and come up with a set of templates and personas depending on what your goals are, right? Like, are you a saver? Are you just getting started? And this gets into, like, a longer term roadmap, though, where right now, our asset allocation is pretty straightforward, and we're just pulling stables on it. Like we started building this in the bear market, where most of our users came in. They're like, "Man, I really don't want to sell my crypto." Right now, we're in a different market, and people are asking like, how I want to allocate some to some things that are higher beta. Right. For example, personally, I would allocate, if there were a template for me, most of it would probably be in wrap Bitcoin and wrap staked ETH, but I would have an allocation to the op token, right? Like, I think it's high beta, and I think it has a strong upside. And so we'd like to be able to define, a very simple set of, essentially personas that a user can choose, similar to what is done in TradFi, make people feel comfortable. And then the system can manage that for them based on some parameters that are set up.
Heck yeah.
So
David, I believe we could. Oh, go ahead.
I've got one question, but it's a bit different from the health factor side of things. One of the things that I found most interesting about the demo was the MetaMask debit card looking. The connected account. Is the idea that eventually this, I think, as I understand it right now, this is like a self-custody wallet, but is the idea that eventually this will be a standalone debit card that we can load up with stable coins, and we can use it to buy things online, Amazon, take it, use the physical card somewhere? Is that kind of like the end game?
It's hard to say what the end game is, because the regulators in America are capricious. I hope they're not listening right now. I don't want to make any lists, but essentially, the last company I did prior to Juniper was a credit card startup called Point Card, right? And I was head of engineering there, and we were building something akin to like what Robinhood has announced, right, with their Robinhood Gold, which is a credit card with 3% cash back everywhere, all these perks, whatever. The credit card market, the debit card market is unbelievably competitive, right? And the competitors are all like top 5 banks plus Robinhood or whatever, right? And that is not a fight that a startup should enter, in my opinion. Having done it once, I don't know that I would do it again. So our model for now, unless things change, and things obviously can change maybe a year or two out, our model for now is that we would like to connect to your fiat, right, accounts, but we don't want to be your fiat account, right? And the reason for that is my spending stack in TradFi in the US has changed quite a bit. I used to be like an Amex points maven, like, travel, blah, blah, blah. But now if you do the math, if you actually look at the hard spreadsheet of it, Apple's card, if you use Apple Pay and the tap to pay, is 2% cash back all the time. Amazon points ecosystem has come a long way. Like, these things keep changing, and you need a huge staff in order to fight the fight and compete on that level. So that's a long answer for saying that we want it to make it so that you can connect to whatever the current best deal in TradFi is, but we don't want to fight that fight head on, right? We want to focus on DeFi. So,
cool. Very good question. Okay, so are there any future plans that you want to share? And also, if users are interested in the application, they want to find out more, maybe they want to get in contact with you, where can they go?
Future plans that I'd like to share, stablecoin savings, right? So I've just demoed, if you think about the essential functions of the TradFi checking account, the checking account is kind of the worst part of anybody's financial stack right now, right? It's just this bag of money that does nothing and you get no interest, right? But you have to have one. We're aiming squarely at that, right? Because actually, let me, if I have an extra minute here, I'm going to log out of this demo account real quick, and I'm going to log into my personal account. And this is super slick, Privy. I really appreciate that. I just logged in with my watch to a DeFi app, if you could believe it. So in my personal account, right, I actually have a couple of different things here, such as this chime checking, right? And you can essentially, like, what we want to do is essentially replace that dead money in your checking account with pools, right? Stablecoin pools, right? Probably also at Aave to start. And this, of course, is going to be an optimism, just like all of our other stuff. And right now, if you have your money in savings and you feel like, shifting money around in your TradFi app like that, that's great. But the best you're going to get is maybe 4%, right? We're getting 9 over on Op USDC at Aave, right? And that's why this sort of fiat integration is so important. Is that as we add this stablecoin savings product, we're going to be a really, I think, compelling alternative to living your life, with traditional finance, right? Like making a really viable alternative in DeFi for users to use. I'm just going to send myself $10 right now for the fun of it. What was the second part of the question?
If the user wants to take a deeper look into the application or reach out to you, how should they do that? Where should they go?
So the best way to reach us is check out the app at app.juniperfi.com, right? And within the app, we have links out to our help center, which will you can use that in order to read up on the articles we've written, or contact us via chat. We're pretty responsive. We actually have we're a global team, so there's always somebody awake. You can go over to our Discord and just chat with us in real time there. We've had some great feedback there that's helping to inform the product. I think in the medium to long term, we actually do want this to be like sort of borrowing from the Optimism page, a community-driven product. Like we have ideas, and I have a lot of experience in crypto and TradFi, but that's not the same thing as understanding what people need, right? So please come join us and give us a chat. I'll probably respond to you directly, or Carolis, who is a community and marketing. I also want to plug our referral program here, which we've just done. Check it out. Go through the help center. I'll drop a link to the referral program also into the chat. We have some pretty sick bonuses if you're a bonus hunter, which I know we all are or have been in the past. Granted, there are caveats. You can't just put the money in and take it back out. So.
Very cool, very cool. And yeah, thank you for coming on and demoing. I love the application idea where if users don't want to sell their crypto, they can come in and they can borrow against that. And maybe these new seems like it's geared more towards new users, easy onboarding. So it's like it's fairly complex to have to get on chain and then figure out if I want to use Aave or Compound or something else, and then borrow and then put that back off chain. So it's nice that you've kind of condensed that all into one app. Very good demo.
Thank you for having me on your program. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy or something. It's amazing.
hopefully not Jeopardy. Something more fun than Jeopardy, right?
I love that shit. Don't you talk about Jeopardy? Jeopardy's amazing.
I'm more of a Wheel of Fortune guy myself. Keep it simple. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. All right, we will hand it over to our next presenter. And let me get Rob up here.
While we're getting set up, Maddie, are you Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, or The Price is Right?
I am a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire stand.
Oh, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Hey, Robert.
Those are great shows. Hey guys, how's it going? Jesse, Robbie, Maddie. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Let me start sharing my screen, and also a shout out to the collective. Good to see 2,000 people checking in right now, so that's really, really awesome. Shout out to everyone. Let me give me a quick second here. All right. Let me know when you guys are able to see my screen.
Perfect. You are good to go.
Cool. Awesome. Also, before I start, I want to let you guys know I do have 2 cats. One of them sleeps all the time. The other one is super active at this time. So super, super sorry if she comes over and says hi to you guys.
I'll dox myself. I'm staying at my buddy's place, and he has a cat as well. And so you might see one jump on my lap. And I won't dox anybody else, but somebody else, co-host, possibly might have a couple cats.
Yeah.
We're not bothered.
Might be on camera right now.
I see the exercise machine. That's super cool.
Yeah, there's sleeping cat right there. Oh wait, it's off camera on the actual screen. Well, you'll have to trust me. There's a leopard right here.
Oh, awesome. Leopards. All right, let me present here. All right, you guys can see my screen, right? I can't see myself, so all good.
Perfect.
Perfect, awesome. Well, thank you guys. We are Quantum Fair. Quantum Fair is an on-chain raffle marketplace on Optimism, and what we try to aim for is our real goal here is to make on-chain raffles accessible to everyone. Essentially, if you want to launch a raffle, an ERC20 or 721 NFT raffle, you can easily do it by clicking a couple buttons and launching it, and making it super easy for people to participate. We believe that the easier it is for people, kind of like I saw the Carl's talk in Bogota in DevCon, and one of the things I learned there is the easier you make the code for people to go and code, the easier it is. The easier it is for this adoption to occur. So we're trying to do that. We're trying to do that right now to make everything as super simple as possible and to get more people involved. And in this demo, we'll be we're holding a raffle at the moment. So in order to do that, you need some ETH and DAI. And if you need any of that, just shoot us a message on Twitter, and we'll happily shoot you over some DAI so you can participate. And also, a cool thing about this is for feedback. People are here to learn, and we're also here to learn. So any constructive feedback is always welcome. We really appreciate it, and we would really appreciate it. So. What's the background? Why raffles? And one of the reasons why we chose raffles is, it's one of the oldest games in society. The ancient Han Dynasty in China used it, and the ancient Roman Empire used it. And we're talking about the second century and the first BC century. So this goes back a long, long time, and it's kind of this method or fundraising method or game has been part of our societies for the longest time. So we thought, well, why not just bring that on chain? And because raffles in their current form, on these Web2 raffles, they lack transparency. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if the person's actually just choosing themselves or their friends. So we said, let's bring that on chain. And the solution here is by having raffles, people can leverage their social capital to fund whatever projects that are near and dear to them and their communities. And so another thing that can happen as well as raffles that they're able to enable is kind of like this new value discovery mechanism. And what I mean by that is, say, for example, you're an artist and you're launching an NFT for your art, and you have a community of 10 people, 50 people, 1,000, whatever it is. You want to, instead of the current method right now is you go and you just put up for auction and you just see what the market says. Well, what about if you start that with your own community? Say you raffle off your first NFT and that sells $10. Well, now you know that NFT is worth $10 worth of raffle tickets. But what about if it's worth $100 or $1,000 or even 20,000, whatever it is? This allows for the community and the collective to say, well, this is the new value that we're assigning to it at this moment. And really, at the end of the day, just like in real life, raffles are no different than for them as a tool to help communities grow. And you can always think about in real life communities, wherever you go, there's certain communities that hold raffles, whether they be social events or your local fair. There's raffles happening all over the place. And so diving into some examples here, communities that have used these are Quantum Fair as raffles. There are two very notable happenings that occurred. ETH Monterey in Mexico, they raffled off Optimism skateboards during their conference, and they had 37 participants. That was really interesting because we never thought about when we were developing, someone's going to actually raffle skateboards through our platform. Like, okay, that's really, really awesome. Another one is ETH Volcano of El Salvador. And what they did is that they raffled off 2 airfare tickets for their conference. And that was super interesting because I was at the conference and I got to meet one of the winners, and she said, I would never have come to El Salvador if it wasn't for winning this prize. And it was super fascinating for her and amazing because as you may or may not know, El Salvador is leading the charge for regulatory reform, especially on the Bitcoin side, but they're also have been doing it on the Ethereum side as well, or on I don't want to get too much into it, but they're leading the charge there, and so that was really fascinating to see, because now you have the communities offering special perks or special incentives or special gateways for people to access their communities and people from different parts of the world to go and experience it through fundraising of raffles. So we thought that was super fascinating. And someone actually just yesterday, they posted up on Twitter today, they actually used our platform to educate newcomers to the on-chain world. So that was a very humbling experience just to see this morning. That was really, really cool. A shout out to them. And how it works at a very high level, the way that works is that a raffle owner deposits their NFT or ERC20 in one of our vaults, the Quantifer vault. And then as an owner, you're able to set out different parameters. What's the ticket price, the asset, the description, reserve price, which means like what's the minimum price you want for the raffle to occur at, and the expiration date. And the real kicker here is that the winners are chosen by API 3's quantum random number generator, which is an oracle. And what that means is that we're not choosing the winner, or the computer's not choosing the winner, but rather an oracle hosted by API 3's QRNG. They're the ones choosing the winner. And so it's like this third party coming in and making sure everything is happening correctly. And once the raffle ends, the prize is trustfully transferred over to the winner, to the address. And so that's how it works as a big overview, but that's enough of talk. Let's go show what we're doing right now. At the moment, there's a raffle for $1,000 worth of Velodrome's V-Velo NFT. Velodrome is the number 2 dApp on Optimism right now. They aim to be the liquidity hub of Optimism and the Superchain. And so we say, well, let's raffle off an NFT there. And so you'll need some Ethereum and some DAI on Optimism. And again, if you have a DAI, shoot us a message there on Twitter and we'll happily shoot that over so you can participate. You can still see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, give me a quick second. All right, so this is where we're at right now. This is the Velodrome raffle that's happening, and what you can see here, kind of just want to go through a bit of what's happening here. So this is the image that shows the V-Velo NFT. The ticket price that was set out, $1 worth of DAI, and the tickets sold is now 147, and the minimum target for this, the reserve price, is 500 DAI. And the real reason why we're all here at the end of the day is for transparency purposes, to be as transparent as possible. That's one of the factors, right? And so how do you know that this raffle actually holds this V-Velo NFT of 5,700 Velo? And I'm not just talking hot air. Well, let's check out the prize vault. The prize vault is the contract that holds the NFT. And here, if you click it, this is the prize vault, and it shows here token holdings, 1 token. Click on that, and now we see, okay, there's a V NFT. And if you click on inventory for a better view, you see, okay, there's NFT, and the token ID is 21841. Well, let's verify that. Here it says token ID 21841. Okay, that's what's there. And so let's investigate further to make sure that this raffle actually means what it's happening. So the contract address ends at 787D, and the contract address is the one the owners or the creators of these VNFTs. So let's double check that again. Don't trust, verify, and see. You have contract address here. First one, 787D. Okay, that matches up. Now let's make sure that 787D is actually a VNFT. Click on that, and the first thing you see is token tracker VNFT. Got it. Let's make sure, even again, Velodrome V2, they have 171 million worth of VNFTs in that NFT contract. Okay, great. And if you want to be even more, then you can go check out the Velodrome V escrow, or even ask this address to their Discord. Hey, is this the correct contract address? Yes, it is. Great. So now we see, all right, this is what's happening here. This contract, this raffle contract, actually holds approximately $1,000 worth of VVelo. All right, cool. And so, say for example, you want to participate. Let's make sure you're connected first. And so here is the number that you can buy. So let's try it out. As you can see, my tickets, I just bought some last night just to test it out with this new wallet. So let's purchase one ticket. Purchase entry. The first thing it's going to ask me is approval. We set the approval for 5 max. You can always increase it, but we want to side in the safe side here. So let's approve it. 0.01. Thank you, Optimism, for making so affordable. Okay, and now a new pop-up. Network is busy. Gas prices are high. Estimates are less accurate. Okay, sure, why not? All right, so now we are. This is an enter. So now we approved the contract. So now we're going to enter into the raffle. Okay, let's confirm it. And sure enough, boom, good luck. It tells you. And now you can verify that, okay, now you have 4 tickets. And how can you verify this? Well, let's check out what's happening here again. This is being all gathered from the blockchain. The last entry was 99C4, which was me. Here's my address, 99C4. And my ticket was 1 entry for a price of $1. And now I'm now another ticket in for this raffle. And so this is where we're at right now. The raffle ends in 6 days. And just to give like a final thought, right now we are kind of just where we are at and where we're going. Right now we are waiting on the audits for this to go fully live. We want to be extremely cautious here. We take people's safety into extreme consideration here. We don't want to be left no stone untouched here. And so we're waiting for that. And also we applied for the builders grants, the mission request over at Optimism. We are polishing up the UI UX designs, but there's some new features we can work on from this. All the smart contracts are done, which is great and fascinating. Shout out to the entire team that's putting this through together. It's plenty of us that have been working on this, so shout out to everyone. And yes, we hope to have this soon trademark. And so yes, that's the Quantum Fair in a nutshell. Happy to answer any questions.
Very cool and very well explained. So I understand from the user perspective, why would you want to enter a raffle, right? For say something like Velodrome, because I assume you guys have partnered with Velodrome and Velodrome has provided this VE NFT. What is in it from their perspective? Is it kind of purely an advertising play, or is there something else there?
That's actually funny because they have not sponsored this whatsoever. So this is actually came out from our own funds. We just thought, hey, let's make sure that we can raffle an NFT. And what's the hottest NFT in Optimism? Oh, it's Velodrome. There's other NFT communities, but they're not as active. So we thought, hey, maybe the Velodrome community will come in and they'll participate more. And so, but yes, what's in it for the communities at the end of the day? I think that's part of it, that it's a marketing vehicle, but at the same time, they're able to gather their interest together to say, hey, we're gonna any project can say, hey, we're gonna raffle off a special NFT that has no value, but hey, we're gonna give value to this NFT, and maybe when we're at ECC or at DevCon, we're going to have a special party. You know what I mean? Like there could be so many different value mechanisms driven to this, or they can just raffle off their ERC20 tokens and say, hey, we want to share this with the community. So yeah, they don't, at the end of the day, they can charge for raffles tickets, but at the same time, there's a possibility, which we could release, that we're working on, is for them not to charge and have different methods of gaining entries into that into the raffle. So yeah, there's a lot of ways here.
Very cool. Like, yeah, that's interesting. It's like you don't have to buy raffle tickets. It's like maybe you create a piece of content or contribute to their project in some way, and then it's like boom, you get a raffle ticket. I'm also curious how you guys make your money. Is there kind of a take here?
At the moment, we are self-funded. The way the contracts are set up is that the owner of the raffle, they can say, "Hey, we're gonna set amount this amount, 5%, 10% for this other address." We're thinking at the moment, let's set aside, 0.5%, 1%, something of a fee. At the end of the day, if a raffle goes off successfully, that we're able to say, okay, this goes back to the treasury to fund the development. Um, and that's why I gave a shout out to the mission request for for optimism, because well, how do we get funded? Well, hopefully the collective sees the value in this, and hopefully this goes through. But yes, at the moment it's all self-funded. We've been working on this for quite some time now, um, and yeah.
Very cool. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to ECC, so I hope there's some of those after parties that raffle off some tickets so I can get into there.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. If anyone here is interested, if you're part of a community that's interested in holding off raffles, we'd be happy to speak to you. Yeah, conference, no conference, whatever it is, we're happy to network and partner up.
I do have a quick question. Like for NFTs, ERC20 token raffles makes a lot of sense that the prize, I imagine, gets automatically transferred to the winner's address. But for something like a skateboard or even like a conference after party ticket, the skateboard's not on chain; it's a physical good. So how do you ensure like that the winner of the raffle ends up getting that off chain good?
Yeah, that's a great question. The way that ETH Monterey did it is that they had 37 participants. So that winner was able just to go and show, hey, here's my NFT. So it was a smaller crowd. And I think that's still, if you have the NFT, because it's the NFT and only one person holds it. If you go with your MetaMask or Rabby wallet, wherever you have that NFT, and say, "Hey guys," you go to the booth and say, "Hey guys, I won. Here's the proof." Well, you can now verify. Well, that person holds it. That's how we see it, has how it's played out so far. I'm curious to know if there's going to be any other ways for communities to verify. But so far, it's been that, hey, and for in real life events, here's my NFT. Okay, here you go now.
I wonder if there's like some sort of like confirmation thing where like maybe the project doesn't get the funds released until the winner confirms that they got the good.
Interesting. Okay, so kind of putting a layer between the distribution, the winning and distribution of it.
It's just
Yeah,
an
that's
idea.
interesting. Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's interesting.
I
Yeah,
like that. That's kind of making it building towards unruggability. You have to kind of
yeah,
sign and be like, I got this skateboard, indeed, and then it's like now they can have the funds.
yeah. And then maybe it's like a multi-sig between the owners of the community leads, or the community say, okay, this person actually received it. He there he is in the skateboard on Twitter. So yeah, or I saw him. So I will confirm that. Yeah, yeah. That could definitely be done. I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Jesse, I
That's
love
really
that
cool.
name. Whether it's for a project or a podcast, unruggable. That's a good
Un
one.
Unruggable raffles. There you go. That's the new name.
We are taking that. We are definitely writing that down. Ruggable Fest.
Oh, beautiful. All right. So if users are interested in going here, is there any links that you want to drop for the raffle or your socials as well? We just dropped your social a little bit earlier in the Unlonely chat, Quantum Fair.
Awesome. Yeah, you can go to the bottom of the page, and there's a Twitter and Discord. There's also Telegram, which is not there. But yeah, shoot us over a Twitter message, an X, or shoot us over a Discord message. We're always happy to speak to anyone. Again, if you have a community, if it's 5 strong, 10 people, 20 people, hey, they're strong, they're strong. If it's 1,000 people, you want to hold something for your next conference, shoot us a message. Let's do this. We're happy to network partner up. And yeah, look forward to to any thoughts and feedback as well from anyone
Awesome.
else as well.
Awesome. I love it. And very good demo. Also, this one very, very well explained. I love kind of the slideshow and the progression because as you were going through the slideshow, I actually had those next questions in my head, like, whoa, how does this work? And then next slide, how does this work? So excellent logic
you.
there. All right, so that concludes demo day. Everybody, thank you for joining. Rob, excellent presentation. Robbie, also thank you again for joining as a co-host. Starting to really love these. We have we have a good thing going. All right, so that concludes demo day, everybody. We are moving demo day to bi-weekly, so we will not be here next week, but come join us again in 2 weeks for demo day to see some new projects on the Superchain.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you guys. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Collective.